This is Naoki Yoshida,
This is Fern Halls.
and you are listening to Aetheryte Radio.
Aetheryte Radio.
Here we go.
Hello and welcome to Aetheryte Radio, Gamerscape's Final Fantasy XIV podcast. I'm FusionX. Joining me today, we've got Sinidra.
So
That voice acting training.
We've got
Shivers.
all Diano.
I always have to do something to make Fusion confused. Is it his name? Confusion.
It doesn't take much. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and Rook.
Stop. Thank you, friends. I really feel the solidarity every time we start this show. Really do.
You're welcome. We got you. We got you.
See, I felt left out. I feel pressured.
No,
into-
you're always welcome. I'm so glad you joined us.
All right, so today we're going to talk about our hands-on time with patch 6.25. But before that, we do have a little bit of news. Live letter is coming up. New live letter.
I like those.
They're good.
Those are good.
like a lot.
FFXIV. So if you know Roman numerals, good for you.
50,
What, 24?
50,
50, 10, 10, 4.
Yes.
74,
Yeah.
74.
It's okay. We know you're not good at them. We
Nailed
still
it.
love
I
just-
you. It's
they-
fine.
I just know somewhere at Square there's like, man, why did we ever start with Roman numerals? They didn't think they'd get up to like, they're like, we'd get up to 10 and done. No. So this is going to be Friday, November 11th at 3 a.m. Pacific. So
Hooray.
Oh, yuck. Okay.
I'll catch that when I wake up.
I'll be awake.
I was going to say,
What a
Zen will
strange
catch it
thing.
live.
It's true.
So yeah, it's going to be first half of 6.3. So we'll probably get
Wait. What's the day?
November 11th.
November 11th.
I won't be awake.
Yep, you probably will.
Oh.
What a shocking turn of events. Who could have predicted that Zen would not be awake?
Yeah, it's
So yeah, first half
or
of
I
6.3.
will be awake, and then the next day I'll be very tired.
That's fair.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, we'll probably get a patch title. Let's see a little bit of what they're planning on.
No, Rook.
Yeah.
We're gonna be together that weekend.
I
Yep.
know. Isn't that exciting? We're going to be together at a convention that weekend.
We can talk about it as soon as we're awake.
We can. We can wake up
You can
and watch it
go
together.
down to the lobby,
kinda
get yourself some Starbucks, and huddle around the laptop and just watch
It'll
it.
be 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I
Yeah.
don't know what time zone that is.
It reminds me of the time we were at this was PAX East.
Mhm.
We were me and Gahu were in line at the Starbucks, and Yoshida gets in line behind us. And we're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And you could tell he was super jet lagged. He's just like tired.
Oh, poor little man.
Need caffeine.
Yeah. So yeah, live letter. Also coming up here is going to be the North American Data Center expansion. So in case you don't remember, we're going to get a brand new data center for North America, and it's going to have 4 worlds. It's going to have Halicarnassus, Maduin, Marlith, and Seraph. And so this is going to be going up here. Oh, that's actually the housing one. I clicked on it wrong. No, but it's going up like
I want to
Monday.
know
It's
what
like
the
Monday.
theme here is. Like, what do all those things have in common? My
They
initial thought,
have the letter A.
that could be. My thought, though, is it's like beings from other worlds. Like Halicarnassus is a voidsent and Seraph is a fairy, you know?
Mhm.
Ooh, could be, could be, could be.
Maduin's from the Esper realm. Yeah.
I hope there's an Esper realm. Ooh.
So many.
And I'm, this is dumb, but I'm glad they're paying a little homage to Halicarnassus, even if it isn't the one that's the version from our game, because that was such a fun fight.
It was. I still love that fight. I was happy to see it too.
Yeah. So we'll have patch 6.28 is going to happen. It's like all this stuff like the same day. So that's going to be like Monday into Tuesday. So we'll have 6.28, which is going to have the numbers adjustments for whatever they're going to adjust. So we'll see what they do. And then that's also going to be the end of season 3 for Crystalline Conflict. And then that's also going to be.
Oh no!
I've done.
I need to work on that.
I think
I'm like halfway through.
Yeah, I did like 2 matches the other day when Rook was on duty commenced. By the way, Rook was on duty commenced this past week, so go check out the VOD if you haven't already. You can watch her complain about some
the double
machinist
cosplay
sniping her. That was me. Hi.
But it wasn't just you.
There was apparently another
like
machinist.
A small horde of
sniping.
machinists that were all waiting for their limit break to come up to just annihilate me from across the map.
I mean, we're in the gorge. We're walking. We have the limit break. You go for the healers, right? Yeah. That's
Fusion
what you
did
do.
hunt me down with a vengeance. So
I mean, it was easy with the Venat
What are
glam.
friends for?
I know,
right.
I'll take a challenge.
But yeah, all this stuff is going up. Yeah.
Important to note that the rewards, theoretically, for like the reward track will not go away when the competitive season ends. So you will still have a little bit more time beyond just next Tuesday to get those done, because I'm also crunching because I realized I hadn't done much and I really want that dragon mount. So you got some time.
Yeah.
I wish we could get points from like going with friends. Just like group up with 10 buddies and just murder each other and get cool shit.
Also, too, as a reminder here for the new data centers, for housing, because I know some people are looking at this. I know I've thought about it. I don't think I'm going to do it. But if people transfer to get a house, the commencement of sales for that are going to start Friday, November 4th at 8 a.m. Pacific. And just like before, there's going to be your free company houses and your private stuff, all that. So if that's something you're considering.
Yeah. Was there something they brought up on Duty Commenced that I hadn't thought about? Is the fact that if you do transfer over to try and get a free company house, a reminder that your free company has to be established for like 30 days or something before you can buy property.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to make the FC immediately. Yeah. And I mean, thankfully, it seems like because they are going to be delineating some of those patches, you have a little bit of breathing room. But I mean, I imagine the personals will go like that. So
yeah, and you got to rank it up too to get the plot access, whatever that is. So
rank ups are a little bit of a grind. So turn in stuff.
Yeah,
craft stuff and turn it in. Very easy rank up, and you only need rank 6, so you don't have to get that far.
Yeah. So there you go. If you're one of those people looking for a plot, fingers crossed for you.
Good luck.
Oh, so much good luck. Mad dash. But that's it for news. Which means now we're
done with the podcast. Cool.
We're done. Everybody, yeah, we're good. I'm surprised this hasn't fallen off yet. Like this is good. For those listening to the audio portion, I'm wearing an old cardboard dragoon mask. Zen and Rook have rabbit ears, and Aldino is a billboard.
Yeah,
which I guess makes me ask the question: when is the beach party, Aldi?
Right after my OnlyFans goes live, so I can have content.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That makes sense.
I love that. That does make sense.
That's a solid plan.
You know what? I'm sorry to interrupt you again. We're gonna be together with Charles also. In Galveston. Yeah. There's a beach right there if you want to take some pictures.
True. We'll have the beach party. Yeah.
You could
help pose you and everything.
Get the foot just right in the sand there with maybe some seashells, a little bit of the tide rolling in.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll get a photo shoot scheduled. But this is our festive. These are our festive outfits for All Saints Wake, which is also running currently in Final Fantasy XIV. Get your rewards.
Yes.
Do some
it's very cute.
Yeah, if you have not done that yet, make sure to do that. last day is actually day of the patch. So like you have this weekend, and that's it. If you're listening to this on a day that's like a Monday.
Luckily, it's not one of those
this
situations.
second.
Yeah, it's not one of those situations where you have to run the event over and over and over and over and over again to get the things.
Super
Once
easy
you
to do.
get through the little quests, you get the option to go see the very adorable haunted house picture taking area. That was such a good idea. And also buy the neat little wispy things and all the extra little Halloween stuffs. So if you're like our friend Monty and you run out of, I guess Fionn also, if you run out the pumpkin heads. Oh no, Bebop likes the pumpkin heads too.
Yeah.
All right. If you're like several of our friends and you run out of pumpkin heads, stock up. You never know when Halloween's going to be canceled again.
Wow. Yeah, so this is that's it. We're gonna talk about our time with 6.25. So we had a patch. We had I think this is probably one of the better 0.5 patches that we've had. So first up,
what's another example of a different 0.5 patch?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, most of the 24 mans are 0.5, I think.
I'm a big fan of 24
No, no, 24 mans are never a point.
Oh, that's right. They come out with it. That's right.
Yeah.
So then that's
we're thinking like Beast Tribe quests, other random weird little things.
New features like wasn't Boja a 0.5?
Boja might have.
I don't remember.
Might have been.
I'll have to look it up.
Start to Boja was, I think.
I don't know. That was at least a year ago. My memory doesn't go back that far.
Head empty. No idea. Don't remember that
no
far.
idea.
Yeah.
I'm looking at patch 5.5 just because it's the first 0.5 I could think of.
That's fair. Well, you need the point.
Is it 5.5?
You need the 0.05, right?
Okay.
It's not just a 5. It's a skip a digit.
Savages come out.
It's a middle patch.
Oh, savages. Yeah, this was an interesting one. As we get through it, obviously I think we'll talk about where I think the patch's real strengths were largely, but I've heard mixed feedback from people overall about this one. Some were hoping we might get more of the relic weapon up front. Others were, like myself, really excited and surprised and delighted by the way that the variant and criterion dungeons actually, lived up to, I think, our hopes and hype. Yeah. And there were a lot of other little changes, little things that were also pretty nice in this. So
yeah, so we're gonna go down in order of the patch quests or the outline here.
I'm not gonna lie, I looked at 5.55 and it was like Zadnor and also new instrument, really quality furniture. So I think 0.05, yeah, 0.05 patches for me are like real good. But I understand why you would say that this is a very quality.
There's always some good stuff in there. So first up, Hildibrand. We got new Hildibrand. Hildibrand's on the moon. I loved it because we got the little blue poops. We got Master Poo Poo.
It's true.
I love him. He is adorable. He makes little squeaky sounds when he walks, and I need that minion ASAP.
Yes.
I hope the minion does it too. That'd be so crazy.
I don't think minions usually make sounds though.
No, but I wish they would.
I want the animated eyes for the minion.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah,
they're so wild. That. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun to see the poo-poos actually show up. So many people were theorizing. We ourselves on the podcast theorized when they announced that the moon was going to obviously play a role in Endwalker, that there were some options, right? Lunarians, poo-poos, there were things they could do up here. But it was fun to see poo-poos actually make an appearance. And it felt like such perfect timing too with our ongoing discussion with the Omicrons and the sort of sci-fi aspect and the interdimensional, interspatial travel kind of stuff that's happening. It was great to see them, and I felt like this little friend fit in very well. And I actually, when the quest started for Hildibrand, I was kind of going, am I over this yet? I don't know. It's fine. But they did get several full-on, like, out loud chuckles from me as I went through them. And I do think that there was a lot of charm, and not everybody's going to love the Hildibrand quests, but I had a fun time. I enjoyed going through them, and I thought they tied in all the different themes pretty well, and the different characters to transition into the relic weapons.
You know, that's the thing with Hildibrand. They're never supposed to be serious. They're just like random weird, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, are you seeing what I'm seeing? No, it's probably like a reflection of like blah 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 swamp gas. It's like I loved that. That was great. Then the Loprits dancing. I just the idea that there's just been like a group of Loprits there, like
in that
for however long it's been. They're just like
they're really
dance,
just
guys.
dedicated to their craft.
Yeah.
Right.
I loved the little line afterwards where he was like, "Oh yeah, we set that up to welcome people to the moon. I totally forgot about that." And you just think about all those poor rabbits in there waiting, oblivious the whole time.
I just think of them like sitting around like playing poker at a little table or something. It's like, I think they're gonna call us anytime soon. Like,
I did have a good laugh too at the what was it? The intransient twin throw or
ephemeral
twin something.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It was so good that again they push the storytelling when it comes to Hildibrand. We know that they use it as a technical test for various things, and even in this one you could see a lot of expressions, subtle nuances, tiny eye directions, funny exaggerated expressions that I think, and even the Loprit dancing, it was so fluid and smooth. You could see them playing with some of the animation
shaking their little bunny butts.
But I also really like how they tell the story of Hildibrand in such a referential, kind of memey, but really stylized way where it plays into the detective genre, but then you also get these crossovers into anime and stuff like that. So that power move with the screen and the twins, I definitely was laughing out loud at that too, because it was just so good. It was so well done.
I loved the Louis Soir tribute.
Yeah.
When one of the clones is about to be blown up. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, it was amazing. And of course, because this expansion, we have Manderville weapons. This kind of helps lead us into that. It dragged a little bit right at the end, I think, because of that. Everything kind of wraps up, but then you spend a few minutes talking to Godbert to kind of segue into the weapon thing. And I wish they had put that in a different quest, but just like put it right there next to, you know, where you turned in that last one. It dragged it out a little bit for me, and it felt kind of weird. I don't know if anybody else felt that. No,
really,
just me. That's fair.
It just felt like the transition. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The story when the actual closing credits roll. That's always the capstone of the end of the Hildibrand.
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, that's not wrong, but I feel like I get why they included the bit with Godbert in there, but it felt like they could have easily just stuck that at the beginning of something else, and I don't know. But whatever.
Let's be honest, it's just there wasn't enough actual Hildibrand in that part for you. It's too much dad, not enough son.
Yep.
Yeah,
it got way too serious. Not nearly enough shenanigans.
I liked seeing them bring in some of the, obviously previous characters that we've had that are always a part of the relic weapons. And I was surprised, but happy to see where they set it, because when I was exploring the maps the first time in Endwalker, I went down to that part, that area in the, alchemy portion of Radzat-Han. I went down into the workshop to where, is it called the Crucible now? Down there to that little extra room. And I was just kind of like, this is so weird that there's just this big space
I
down
didn't
here.
even remember that room was a thing. I was like, oh, did they add an entirely new part of Radzat-Han? Because there's nothing there.
Yep. Did you have that Aetheryte spot?
No.
They
added it.
I think they added it for this.
But it drove me insane, because I was like, wait, how did I not get this?
Right? That's why I thought it was like a whole new area. Yeah. I'm like, oh, all right.
So this is neither here nor there, but did you do the jumping puzzles in Radzat-Han?
I
did at least one of them where you get on top of the roof.
Okay. Because I explored the hell out of Radzat-Han. It's so pretty there. And so I had to do the jumping puzzle, and I was glad I did, because on top of the roof is so pretty.
There's a bench. There's a singular bench.
It's like a whole garden.
Yeah, but like a bench. That's it. There's a bench. You get up there and you can have a sit. Anyway,
a sit and a gaze at the natural / actually artificial because it was planted beauty.
I am so curious to see if they're going to do something with this. I mean, it could just be comical, silly. I mean, the part with him and the sweat dripping, that made me giggle. But there have for so long been so many theories about what or who the Mandervilles are. Are they primals? Are they, whatever. And I wonder if they're going to keep this very, very lighthearted, or if they're going to use these relic quests as something where, as we get further into it, there is some kind of dramatic context or something with them and the legacy and everything.
With the first one, and I haven't finished the first relic yet. I was spending tomes on other things, so I wasn't capped on tomes, unfortunately, when I finished this. But I mean, we already got a little Manderville lore talking about the great ancestor. I think it was Godbrand Manderville. Godbrand, who made the Manderville weapons and passed down the instructions or whatever for them. So I think
the instruction.
Yeah, I think what'll happen is with the weapons, we'll get a little bit of family history, and maybe there will be some kind of weird, obscene stuff in there, but I don't think it's gonna go quote full Hildibrand. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be more serious. I mean, you already have Geralt, talking about dragging his stones across coals and stuff, and then you remind him that Rowena recommended him and he already spent the money on booze and he's got to do this job anyway. And, typical relic weapon quest stuff.
When you have to make a weapon out of man drippings, I think that it's already Hildibrand. You know what I mean? Did you not remember the sweat drippings? That's what Geralt calls them.
Really?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
I missed that then.
Different when you said it.
Or does that come when you make the actual weapon?
Yeah, that comes when you.
Okay,
I haven't before. Okay, be on the lookout.
I still need to buy
the.
I still need to buy the meteorites.
Okay, you get oil from a meteorite, and there's an extra step to make it better. It's the best cutscene in this patch, probably. So
okay, I'm excited. I'm going to do that after we're done here because I need to get that before raid.
Please tell me about your experience with the drippings after you're done.
Oh my gosh!
They use the word, and I'm just going to use it too. It's fine.
Okay.
Now, I think this does transition us into one specific thing, which is the fact that of all the feedback that I've heard about this patch, like I mentioned earlier, this seemed to be the one area where people felt a level of disappointment from what I was seeing, be it from the actual weapon designs or the fact that they were hoping that since they had gone back to more of a traditional relic weapon grind, which we know is not going to include a whole new zone like Eureka or Boja, and that likely is going to revolve around running currently existing content, rerunning it, whatever it is, because it seems like they have mentioned they are moving back to things more so like the Heavensward version. So people were, I think, hoping that they would get the first big grind as opposed to the kinds of Boja style quick intro, grab a first weapon. And it's funny because I remember at the time we almost praised that about Boja, given the context of the bigger zone that was coming out, and we were glad that it was just easier to get done with that first step. But I saw the community really on the fence about this.
Yeah, people wanted more to do, I think.
I think that's ultimately what it comes down to, is people want something to grind while they wait for 6.3. I mean, in that regard, I'm not surprised they did it how they right, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm not surprised that they did it how they did it. It's first phase of the relic. It's always regardless of how they do it, it's always easy, and it usually doesn't take more than a couple hours at max if you have to do any kind of content. The grind will come, and then people will complain about the grind. So
no, I wasn't personally super excited about most of the designs. Some of them, I think the majority of them are very, very reminiscent of the very first artifact designs, which is cool in a way, but also I basically have this weapon already. But it's like Gold Star says in chat, it's the first one. You don't want the good one on the first one. You want that to come last.
And I mean,
exactly
to a point too. And I mean, I'm gonna pick on Aladino for a minute, but it's like if
Yeah.
you're like a summoner or a scholar, right? I mean, and the same applies to all the other jobs too, in varying degrees. But it's like, oh look, it's another book. Oh look, it's another axe. Oh look, it's another pole. Like it gets to the point where it's just like it's a stick. There's a pointy thing on the end. Whatever. Like
No,
If you've seen them, which ones are your favorite then? Like, which ones do you like? Which one, if you've gotten one, which one did you get?
Well, I
got one.
mean, I will be getting the Reaper one because I'm Reaper main in my static, and that one looked okay.
What is this blasphemy? Who are you?
This was
I've
maybe
been
the
in
only...
Reaper for the entire expansion. I don't know where you've been.
This was maybe the
In my heart, you're always a dragoon.
That's fair.
I'm sorry, Rook. Please go.
You're fine. This was maybe the only weapon set recently that I can think of where the only weapon I really felt strongly about that I liked was the white mage weapon.
Hey, that one is very pretty.
So it worked out.
It does look like the first white mage weapon, and they just like stuck it in a little tornado, and now it's swirled instead of wings out. But
yeah,
it's good.
There's also the version. What set is it actually a part of? There's like another staff for white mage that has the like spiraled wings, and I think it was sort of a cream color with gold accents when they first released it. And then
it's the one that has like the sort of fairy things. They reused it in Ilmeg, I think.
Yes.
That was in Castromabania to start.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's not like, again, the most revolutionary, but I do like it. I think it's pretty and I think it's elegant and I think it looks nice and it does harken to other white mage designs. This was tough because I kind of do agree with people that felt like maybe this first step was disappointing. It is the first step again. So of course this is not the end all be all, but it does feel a little bit to me like they have struggled perhaps recently with doing interesting, distinctive things with some of the weapons, right? Like we've seen in some of the fan design contests, I think some really fun and clever subversions of details, design, unique looks, those sorts of things that don't completely break the actual template silhouette of the weapon, but that add something a little interesting. These ones, some of them very much felt to me like I would not be able to distinguish this from like the starter gear I got on the class or something, and some of them also had like a really strong Garlean look or like Garlemald, like Emmett Selk's kind of garments. But we literally had that for the first step of Boja. There were several others that had that exact same kind of coloration scheme. So I kind of agreed with everybody where I was going, at least to me, the original set of relic weapons from the core game, it felt like the lore of the world backed them up in a significant way, and it felt like they had distinctive and interesting enough variants of silhouettes and color scheme and details. Like I still think about those wings and the big sort of eye in the middle for the white mage, and all of the weapons there felt very iconic in a sense and distinctive, but I felt these were a little bit murkier to me. The dancer ones, Zenidra, you can tell me how you felt, but I was like, that's what they did?
Yeah, it looks like
No,
the,
I agree. But I feel that way about the majority of the dancer weapon. It's kind of like, another piece of swirled metal.
It's a circle with some parts sticking out.
Yeah, my favorite one that showed up recently was the Barbaricia ones because it was genuinely just aesthetically beautiful. And a lot of dancer weapons to me look like they ought to be astro weapons, but they like smashed them down into just one level.
They take a little orb out of the middle, and there's no floating parts.
So like for an astro, it's kind of cool because like you would have the pieces swirling and moving, so they interact with each other in kind of an interesting way. But with dancer, it's kind of like, yep, and that's a flat thing. Cool.
Well, I mean, at least with dancer, sometimes you have some blades that like slide out or something, or some kind of little animation on.
Yeah, but a lot of my alt has what I consider ridiculous, but also a great weapon. I think it's from Bardam's Metal. It is. It's just like a round circle, and when you pull them out, they turn into saw blades, and it's ridiculous and great. But also, that's not really pretty, and I wouldn't want it on my main. I'm just have it on my alt because, like, you have that RP mindset. That's where it is.
And there's so much they could do with it too, right? They have the whole peacock theme. They could have made them like curled peacocks with like the tail plumage coming up or something. They could have made like
I'm still waiting for fans.
feathers,
Yep.
fans.
One
Still
day.
waiting for fans.
One
Oh,
day.
Yeah,
we use
this-
fans for half of our shit. Why don't we have fan weapons? Why? Every time I use the fan dance and like throw a feather and the character throws out fans sideways, you know, I'm just like, yeah, that's right. That looks
Yeah.
so cool and pretty and beautiful and badass. Why don't I have fans?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, again, we have to see where these go, right? But for the amount of time and development that they put into these weapons, I would like to see them have something that is an initially exciting design. It doesn't have to have all the special effects and all of the things, right? But I'd like it to be something that when players, especially like new players or anybody's looking through and they go, oh, there's new gear in the game, and they look at it and they go, oh, I want to start that journey. If it looks cool like this now, think about how amazing it can look with special effects down the road and with stuff like that. So I'd like to see them kind of hook people in a little bit more with these weapons, because it does seem like we've gone maybe more and more demure with the initial steps, which is
I will say-
fine. But
That all the books are good. Like the Scholar book looks beautiful. And
Wow.
the Summoner book is covered in dragons and wings. And it's
Okay.
Oh,
it's all right. It's kind of blinged out, so
Okay.
it's all right.
Cool. I'm glad. Okay,
Okay.
so they spent all of their
Good,
brain
good.
power this
Yeah.
time on the books because they
I
were
mean, the
like, we
Scholar
have
one-
been screwing the
It's been a
summoners
while.
and
We need to
scholars.
give the
Yeah.
book people something.
The
Yeah.
Scholar one folds out like one of those
Trapper
you know,
keepers.
yeah, Trapper Keeper. Or I was thinking like back in grade school when you would make the little fortune teller thing out of paper. It
Oh,
folds
God.
out like that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
it
love
has a
those
different
stupid
silhouette
things.
Now I want
from
a
any other book.
book
So,
that's
it's cool.
just a Trapper Keeper.
Yeah,
Just literally says
know.
Trapper Keeper. Do a collab.
90s collab
Right.
weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me like a Hot
Um,
Wheels Trapper Keeper for
the
Summoner.
cover would be Ultima Thule because it's already perfect for them.
Yeah.
And then you
Mm.
would just put someone on
Or
their
like
mount,
some
you know?
Ilmeg shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So to build off what Rook said about the weapons just sort of being your starter stuff, and it should be something that people just coming in are like, oh shit, yeah, I want to do that quest to get that. Maybe because we are grizzled veterans and we're used to this design, and they, like a bunch of us have said, they look like the original AF. Maybe when new people come in, they're like, oh, those are cool, because they didn't get the original AF, and while they still can go and get them, it's kind of going out of your way now to do it.
yeah, and it is pretty arduous. I mean, they have lessened a few of the steps, but some of them are still very
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
ugh.
So maybe it's actually good for new people.
I mean,
Who
at the
knows?
end of the day, right? It's ultimately it's for glamour. Like, you know, the patch
Yeah.
it comes out on, like it might be, you know, worth getting, right? It'll be a decent weapon for a little bit, but I think that's the incentive, right? It's here's an easy way to get a decent weapon upgrade, and I think that's fine. Like it's
you know, it's 615, I believe.
it's
It's got
615.
maxed out substats, and you can add
Yeah.
a bit of a third one, so it's good.
I mean, as far as looks go, like I'm always gonna love the Gable, and it's actually the unfinished one, like
Yeah.
the like the black one, like the kind of grayish. Like I love that one. I glam it all the time.
Me too. I actually do prefer the unfinished Artemis bow, the one that
Yeah.
doesn't have all the bright
Yeah.
colors on it.
Yeah, but you know, like there's gonna be designs in this set that like people are like, this is my favorite weapon. So it's just it's
Yeah.
you
It's kind of like when we
can't
were talking
please
about
everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we were talking about the fire armor. Like that is straight up some people's alley, and other people not so much. So
Meanwhile, I'm over here. I'm like, I have a circle behind me. Like, yay!
my shoulders on fire.
I
Yeah.
always am very happy because when Aldino and I are paired for like all of our mechanics and raid. So whenever we hang out, it's like purple, orange, and we're like both on fire. And I love it. I sometimes will like try to angle so we're like back to back during a mechanic, so we look extra cool. That's all. That's how I play Final Fantasy XIV.
You know what? It makes me a little sad to hear that because I'm completely across the arena from you guys, and I'm never gonna be able to see that easily.
No.
Gotta smash that.
Stupid Hephaestus in the
screenshot
way.
button. All right, so that'll take us into variant dungeons. I loved these. I still have, I think, like 4 out of the 12 endings to get.
Oh my gosh. You're way further than I am.
It's interesting because I think there's some really minuscule things that can change like the ultimate like ending that you get, and I feel like they like that was a little much. Like, I don't know, it's like I didn't really change that much, but it's like here's this whole new I'm like, what? I'm not like some of them I'm like,
I
all
like
right,
that.
like it's cool, but I don't, it feels like there's a little, there needed to be more that happens in the actual dungeon to get that. I feel like for a couple of them.
I feel like at the same time they're trying to think of ways to make this as fresh as possible for as long as possible. And you're literally
absolutely,
doing the same
absolutely.
thing over and over again.
And I think they did a good job on that. I think the fact that
I also like there's some random things that just happen. You have no control over it.
Yeah.
Just sometimes happens, and you get like a different effect or something at the end.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I've been noticing that too. There's the one run where the cerulean pipe bursts.
Exactly. That was one
And
of the
sometimes
things.
it doesn't. And I'm like, I noticed this yesterday actually. I was playing through it. I'm like, what did I do differently that run that triggered or didn't trigger it? Nothing. Great. Good to know.
Well, I mean, but like Zanidra said, I think is to keep it fresh, right? The fact that you have to run these, you're going to be running them multiple times.
Yeah.
And if you're really trying to, without using guides, which has been my goal, to try and figure out the puzzles yourself and what you need to do or not do, it's just that extra little bit of variation that I think keeps your brain from completely and utterly checking out. Whether that's just a slightly different variant of mechanic, or this boss has these possibilities, or that little thing that can happen or not happen. It is a little surprise. It's a little moment of discovery. And I am obsessed with these. This is one of the best things they've ever put into the game. I think it's brilliant. I think it is so well done. I mean, think about the original designs of dungeons, right? One of the things we've talked about, and that they've even been changing recently, is the fact that they've had to streamline a lot of dungeons. So we've had all the changes that happened in Totorock and stuff like that, because originally they were sort of designed to be explorable in the sense that the first time you went through, you would
remember
explore.
when Totorock had character?
Yeah, like, well,
Or like Sastasha, when you go into that first room and it's like, read the note. The note tells you what coral you touch later. And I
when
love it.
When Sastasha's more interesting in like, what is that, Stranger of Paradise, than the actual dungeon, you know it's wrong, because those are just hallways in that game anyway.
Yes. It's just like, I'm in love with this because there were very specific reasons they had to move away from that. It does make things confusing. It does make stuff just like regular dungeon runs. It's so much harder for new players to get their bearings.
It increases friction.
Yes, it
between
increases
new and old
friction.
players,
Exactly. If like it causes these speed runs, and really when it came down to it, there really wasn't much to discover down those paths. You'd go down a different path and you'd be like, cool, there's a room here I never knew about. And maybe it would give you some more contextual lore to what's happening, like the fact that the pirates in Sastasha have been kidnapping women and holding them in one of the side chambers. But this so perfectly says, hey, we realize that explorable dungeons are a thing that people want, but how can we create this in a type of content that has replayability, that has genuine discovery, that like doesn't interrupt your flow to do it and is part of how you're checklisting this all off, that gives you more context, lore, information, and characterization about a massive region in the game that many of you started out in, and that also gives us a sense of resolution moving forward out of the end of this 10-year arc in the places we've called home for so long. I am so thoroughly impressed. The little variations, even with the bosses in different arenas and what that means for their fight, as well as then the bonus scaling difficulty. To me, this is a truly brilliant piece of content, and I hope they keep doing these dungeons beyond just Endwalker post-patch, because
they have to.
Yes, if they give us this, I'm fine with us only getting one dungeon per patch, because this is like all the other content that I want smushed into one thing. Here's all the lore, here's all the world building, here's all the interesting discoveries, here's little riddles, here are these different little fights. And I'm fine. I don't need more dungeons if I look forward to this.
Yeah, I think I would hate if they replaced normal dungeons with variant dungeons. And I'll tell you why. This and again, right, this is not going to be...
She's not saying replace, she's saying, one regular for experts or whatever, and then one variant.
I'm just saying I'm okay with the fact that we've gone down to one dungeon.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Because of the fact that if we have dungeon content like this to look forward to, I think that helps balance it out for me, personally.
Yeah.
I'm selfish, and I want the regular dungeons to have cool stuff in them too, because I don't want to feel brain dead while I'm running my expert. But if I have to settle, it's a good settle.
Well,
it's a good
I think here's the issue with this in matchmaking. I think
it's hard. People just sometimes don't click.
It's and this happened once. This happened once to me, right? But I'm sure it's happened to other people, and I'm sure it'll continue to happen, right? As we do more of these. I get in, I match made, so I was with 3 other people that also match made. Somebody's like, I want path 2.
Yeah.
New person stands on the second platform, doesn't know what's going on. That's not the right door, and they left. And you can't add more people into it after somebody leaves.
Oh, that's
and I
sad.
don't know if the difficulty scales when you enter, or if it's reactive to people leaving. I don't know how that works, if they like completely screwed us or what. But that's going to be a thing that will happen, is somebody comes in, they want to do it a certain way, and they're not always going to get their way, and if they don't, they'll just leave in an angry fit. The other potential option, right, is people find the fastest way, and that's the only way that people want to run when they join in matchmaking.
It's interesting because there are no rewards that give power, really. So one would think that there'd be less people who want to get through it quickly because it'd be more for story. But it's not true.
Tome grind.
It's an MMO. Yeah,
tome grind. You get tomes from it, so therefore people want to optimize that.
There are better ways to tome grind.
It's true, but this is new and less boring, so they want to use it,
Yeah.
The great thing about this content, though, is that you don't have to do it with people.
Yeah, you can do it solo.
That's the other thing I wanted to bring up. Yeah, for those people that are like, oh, they didn't do the one I want to do, solo it. It's not that hard.
Or put up a party finder.
Yes, like I was very clear when I did it because we've been in the middle of this house hunt in real life. I've been in Housing Savage IRL. I didn't have time to get to it until like after most people had started it. And so I said on stream, we're going to put together a group. I ask that all of you don't do any spoilers. Don't run over to the thing and wiggle on it. Don't do little maybe a hint things. Just go in with me, let me go down the paths, and then we'll explore together and see what I can find. And if I need help, I'll ask for it. So in that case, again, as with any kind of content, if there's a specific goal or a specific experience that you yourself are looking for, preform a party, use Party Finder, outline what those goals are. Or the great thing about this content, go into it alone because the scaling is great. So if you want to try and get all 12 paths by yourself, just go in by yourself if you really don't want it to be ruined. I mean, of course, I think there are a lot of fun things about going in together. Or if you just feel like you just want to run it or repeat it for whatever reason. But this content, I love that they put this flexibility in for it because you can, if you are just a story lore person, go in this and hunt for yourself for the story and lore and not feel like you're holding up the party because you want to read all the things or do the stuff or,
Yeah, I love there's and for you, Rook, I won't go into too much detail. But one of the nice things about doing a matchmade thing was somebody was like, hey, do you guys want to do like the secret boss? And I was like, pray tell, what is this? And just the amount of like specific things that you needed to do to like access this, I was like, how the hell did people figure this out? Like, it's insane.
Running it forever.
It's insane.
Well, there's a lot of apparently there's a lot of hints in the dungeon as well.
Yeah, so there is one path, and I know Rook has done this already because we were running them together when she was streaming. But there's the one where you pick up the 2 sacks and you put them on the stones, and you either open the door or there's a teleport. You find out that hint on another path. So I haven't found the one about like the secret or boss or whatever. Like I don't know how the hell people figured that out. But presumably it's somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's interesting to me because this content is not really another place where, because I like to talk about 24-mans and experts. That's where casual, hardcore, RPers, story enjoyers, hardcore people all mixed together. And this really isn't, and that's great. But then you get to the other side of the community who are like, why doesn't this give me anything useful? Right? Like, I'm gonna do Savage,
you
but it
get a
gives me
Makes your
trench
brain
coat
sparkly.
and the growl
Makes your brain
out
sparkly.
emote.
Just enjoy the sparkle. Just enjoy the sparkle.
like, because apparently Savage is difficult, so
It
people are
is
like, why am I
good.
doing this? Like, for what reason then? And that's an MMO,
A
right? Like, that's
challenge.
hard
Why do people
Come
do any of the
on.
hard content in this game?
For fun.
Yeah, for fun.
for stuff.
For stuff. I know we
Yeah.
forget honestly that sometimes you should just play for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's not to say that your time should be wasted, right? But I would assume the reason they did this was because they were like, hey, well, Savage players have been asking for more content and a variety of content, kind of like how they messed around with Blue Mage stuff, right? And they were like, so if their goal is that they want the experience of learning fights and clearing fights, then we'll give them that experience, and that will be the reward that they want to tide them over until the next Savage tier or until whatever. And of course, I mean, we are people just like, I mean, we are all motivated by wanting to obtain something, right? Whether that is a sense of pride for completing it, or much more often, some kind of token of that pride that we can then show to the world as a thing that we achieved. But I would just say have fun. I think there is feedback where, yeah, they could add, I think they should add a better reward or something cool to it for sure, just to give you a bit of something when you finish it. But at the same time, like, this content's so cool. It's so fun.
I think it's an outcropping of, and this is a complete disconnect between like casual and hardcore. Hardcore, and a lot of them think of, yeah, well, that's the bare minimum. Clearing it, I'll do that. Like, that's easy. Like, nothing in this game is hard. Even that won't be hard. So what do I get from it? Because it's not a challenge. There's that mindset, right? Like, nothing is actually difficult. So what do I get from it?
It must be nice just being so good at everything.
Separation. It's really like, that's what I've been reading. Like, it's 100% true. And
I feel like it's for. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. It's just one of those things where, you know, you see this mindset everywhere. Like, every MMO has this mindset, and this is content that they kind of made so that you wouldn't have to think about it, and it works. And I think that it'll be fine, because who cares? Like, that's people will play it if they want to play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they add the rewards, I don't know if that'll be enough. Like, I don't know what reward would be enough, so I kind of don't want them to. Honestly.
Well, I actually don't meet the eye level right now for criterion, so I haven't even touched like criterion yet. But like, is there like a title or something that you get if you beat Savage? I have no idea.
It's faster acquisition of like the stuff to get the mount, faster acquisition of whatever
so
else.
like people grind extremes for tokens for a mount. It's just it's that, except a dungeon instead of a trial. Like, it's I don't know.
There's also the category of people who just enjoy all of the little hints and stuff, but find the base one easy, because it is easy. It's not it's not so hard that you're gonna have like a huge challenge out of it. Things here and there might hold you up for a little bit. So there's that subclass of people who are like, I enjoy the brain sparkle, but also couldn't this beat my face in a little harder? And that's what that's there for.
Yeah.
And we don't even know yet if there is going to be some kind of bigger reward, right? They might do something where if you've completed each of these different dungeons, the set of dungeons that they're releasing, and you do them all on Savage, there might be something really cool. There might be a reward for having done all three of them, or
that'd be cool.
Not exactly comparable, but for example, the Beast Tribes. They don't tell you at the end there's probably going to be an additional quest that gives you more story and lore and possibly a cool title or a piece of gear.
Unless you're Shadowbringers. If you're Shadowbringers,
you just do them all. Complete them all. Yeah, except for Shadowbringers. You just complete them all because it's content to do. It's fun, cute lore content to do. And then at the end, they're like, oh, by the way, because you did spend all that time on that thing, here's this additional thing that you can do. And anybody who didn't bother, now they have to do all of it.
One thing that I think that this content nailed so much, and they can even do more in this, and I think they will if they see that the community likes it, which I hope you all like it. Please tell them that you like it, please, because I need it. What it is I have not seen in any other MMO currently riddles like this, if that makes sense. I grew up playing a ton of mystery games, like murder mystery games, Agatha Christie, they had so many different types of computer mystery games, right? The like point and click adventures. I grew up playing Myst. I grew up playing CRPGs where, you know, the traditional one I always talk about is the light all the torches in the chamber and a door opens, right? So my brain is always looking out for those things. And while there are some games where there might be a little hidden thing, or you might have a jump puzzle, you know, Guild Wars 2 did this when they originally had their envisioning of dungeons in the core game, which they moved away from to get closer to more of a what we expect from instance dungeons and all MMOs. But they actually had something pretty close to Criterion dungeons that much of the player base still really enjoys to this day, which had these like different wings that you would take, and each wing had like a different little story to explore the full dungeon and like a range of difficulty. But even that didn't have the level of little riddle stuff like this one does.
Yeah.
And I see Tempest, who's like Rook galaxy brained a bunch of strat or like a bunch of the different pathways. It's not even galaxy brain, which is what made me so happy, because we were going through it and I was like, okay, what's the context of this passage? All right, so we've got like that we know about from this one, and the lore of this area is like that. So and this one's themed more around Amal Jah. Okay, what do we know about Amal Jah? Okay, so here's a whole bunch of these statues in the plinth. We're weighing the scales. What did we see when we explored the room before this? Well, there was that kind of interesting burned down banner, and one side of it was gone. So then what was the room? This was Silden? This was the Silden Palace? Okay, so was Silda's banner the same? And then we like went into the lore notes and I was like, look at this. In the lore notes on the picture, they have the opposite side of the Silden banner uncovered. And then she herself talks about the fact of like what the actual symbols were of Silda. And so then you're going, okay, what else do I see in this room? There's something that kind of looks like an Aetheryte. Okay, so as we like think about all our different pathways, what are the things that we've gotten and where are their interaction points? And then you start making a list, like what could I do differently? And I mean, immediately you go, I can put different things on the weights, or I can pick different bags to put on the thing, or is there a door that seems conspicuous, but I can't seem to get it to open? Like, and it's just, I miss that. I miss that because games just don't do that anymore.
I'm 5,000% there with you. Just like all of the little stuff that, and I've said it like 5,000 times already, brain sparkles when you're like, wait a minute. Why does that look like that? Why is that shield there? That doesn't make any sense. That symbol shouldn't be here. It means something. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to make content that can do that for the people who want that, but also the people who are like, well, I came to this for the actual mechanical challenge. And then they get to the end.
Read a guide.
I don't get anything. Well, okay. Well, I'm never doing it again.
Google
That's
that
really the
kind.
sentiment usually. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. Just like the armor. Sometimes you want flame shoulders and sometimes you don't. And that means it's not for you, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think I agree so far everything we've praised it with, but there is one part of this that I think deserves the most praise, and that is scalability. What other content can you do with one other person in this game? I'm not talking about like I could get into a party with one other person, and like me and my wife.
No, you're right.
We can sit on a couch together and do dungeons and not have to worry about matchmaking with anybody else. We can just go in, just the two of us, and that is fucking great.
Yeah,
I
we've talked
love
about this
that.
years ago. How like it's great that you can finally unsync and go into dungeons or go in with a squadron of other 3 people. But it would be so great if you could go in with one friend and 2 people from your squadron. You can't, but this you can. That's a very good point.
Yeah. It's just like couples gaming. Like this is the
Yeah.
perfect content for that, and I love it for it.
Can we also just take a second to talk about how cute Nanamo is?
Right?
Because
I felt
already... Go ahead.
Just really quickly, the first time I went through, I was so like entranced by what was going on because I hadn't seen anything yet, and I was with a group who was pretty familiar with the thing, and I'm just like trying to get it all in as we're running through. I didn't see anything that she said, and they're like, "Oh, did you see that cute thing that she just said?" And I'm like, "No, I missed every single thing that she said." No.
Some of the said in my mouth.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I missed.
Where she's like, oh my God, it got in my mouth. Is this what happens when you go on adventures?
She's like, I immediately regret this decision. This is terrible.
Yes. It's so
no bouncing,
cute.
no jouncing. I don't want any of it.
I love her so much. She's the only part that makes Alda okay. I'm just gonna throw that like prejudicedly out.
The thing I really love too is that after you do that 12th ending, you get like another quest that kind of like helps to wrap up the overall narrative of it, which I thought was really cool. It's not, I don't think there's anything for getting all of them done. It's just like that 12th.
There is. You unlock the Silky Mount.
Oh, is that from getting all 12? Okay. So that's cool too. But even just like if you go in and you're like, I just want to know the story, there's like, there's no wrong way to go, which is really cool. But there is a more correct one for the narrative. And if you just went in and did that, and then you could get that, and there's the extra quest at the end, and you're good. Like, that's cool too. I'm really curious to see where we're going for the other variant dungeons. I feel like if we're doing like Ul'dah now, that like my brain is like, well, clearly we'll have a Limson one and a Gridanian one, but who knows?
Some more Galmora, because you know what, we did go into Galmora with Palace of the Dead, but we didn't learn anything about it. Not really.
I would be very surprised if they had one in Gridania and it wasn't Galmora. I feel like that's such a perfect setting.
It would be a missed opportunity to not do something with Alamigo, I think, because we all like the feedback from Stormblood is, I wish we had more Alamigo stuff. This would be a great way to do it. Now, maybe not in the first three. Maybe the first three are Limsa.
Yeah, I think that'd be like second set.
But
what if we got more Hingashi? Because like we get Kagane, but we don't actually get a lot of the actual world of Hingashi.
Yeah,
we don't, and people don't even realize, like, literally Hingashi and Kugane, the port that we're in, it is like the only part of that entire nation we are allowed to go in. It's not even their actual capital. Their actual capital and like all of the other politics and everything else are beyond that port city, but it is all theoretically still closed off to foreign visitors. So that would be something really cool. I would love to see how they keep expanding this, and I hope they do kind of like bring it through the world and parts of the world, because I was so impressed by how many things they tied into this dungeon about the region, referencing past dungeons, referencing resources, all the enemies and the different types of creatures being actual flora fauna that are native to the area. They even tied in the ceruleum thing. They tied in all this stuff about Thanalan and about Nanamo specifically, but also the history of the people and the factions and everything we've seen referenced that just felt so satisfying.
It's
like
great
an
going
interactive.
Through it.
Yeah, it's like an interactive, character-driven codex.
It's like a choose-your-own-adventure dungeon. It's you know, you go through and you pick that right path, and it's like, let me tell you about that zombie purge. I was like, wait, there was a fucking zombie purge? What? I missed that one. Cool. Let's learn more about that.
And then you think back to the fact that the Hildibrand quests that you got when you start out, the zombies, the zombies in that region, although funny, are left over from that and what happened and the horrible crime that was committed against Silda when they tossed a bunch of this zombie powder behind their lines, caused a bunch of their living and dead to transform into undead monstrosities. And then they were like, isn't it funny how like Silda did that to themselves? This is why we have to crush them and take over their country, because they made zombies. And it's like, this is how politics and history work.
I'm glad we talked a little bit more about. So obviously we already said Gridania, right? We'd like to see some Galmora and stuff. I've been thinking about this all week, right? Like if we do the three first city states, like what do we do? And I've been struggling with Limsa. First I was like, let's go to Spoche. Remember Spoche, everybody? I remember Spoche. What if we did Nimi and stuff?
Yeah, of course.
It has to be. Right? It has to be.
I don't know
why
my God,
I want
didn't
to
come
know
up with that
so
first.
much.
I'm embarrassed that I didn't think about our little Tonberry buddies.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Give
Sorry,
me
I'm very passionate about this particular
Give me
region.
Laxenlaw. Give me things on the first. Give me Amarang. You can do it with almost every area of this game. You know what I mean? It's a great way to start this.
You know, we were talking about like Stormblood area stuff, and I don't know where I would go, but the first things that I thought of were Scala, Swallow's Compass, stuff like that. But it's like, but they already did those, so where would we go? I don't know. Because you don't want to like double down on an area like that either.
Yeah.
So there's so much potential, and I think it's a great storytelling device that's because of the it's matchmaking, its scales, it's accessible for whatever kind of configuration you want to throw at it. I think that's awesome because there's at least 12 runs of replayability. You're gonna need to grind at least a little bit more for stuff for the NPC vendor stuff to get your noir outfit and stuff like that. But I think this is one of the best pieces of content that they've put into this game. And obviously, we always talk about how they experiment, to see if they want to do more of XYZ, right, going forward. I hope that this is a good learning lesson for them for scaling content. I don't know, again, right, and again, this is based off of like one experience I had. I don't know if like forking dungeons is gonna be great going forward with matchmaking. Also because they would need to be trust compatible, and they're eliminating paths in dungeons to be better at programming the trust. So I don't think we'll get that, but I think it's really good, and I think let them know.
Building on that,
give them that positive feedback.
The reason that they have been simplifying the other dungeons, which some people don't like, including myself, is so that you can solo them. Yeah. And rather than having to take NPCs in with you to this one, you just go on by yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Still soloable, still content for people who don't want to interact.
There's definitely
which is fine,
a little
no
bit more of a challenge that like if you die you have to go back and do everything, like you need to be paying attention and stuff, but I think that's fine. I think giving the people the ability to do that is great, and I can't wait to see what they do next.
Anything that teaches me stuff and lets me do puzzles, I'm totally fine with.
Yes, I'm right there with you, Sinidra. It's so fun. I honestly can't remember the last time that just a piece of content in and of itself was so fun for me to run on stream. Like doing, here's the dungeon or here's the expert roulette or we're farming this. That's fine. But I mean, I had so much fun doing this on stream because a lot of times as a content creator, you are kind of shoehorned into, well, do I just do hard content over and over and over? Do I, try to get everybody on board while I work on a longer term project? Do I just do roulettes or do content that gets everybody in to do something? And that stuff is fun and we make our own memories in it. But this content was so fun to experience, to stream, to voice, to explore. It really has felt like a fun journey we could all take together. And that, I didn't even have to do much beyond that to be entertaining. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, we just all hung out and I was like, okay, but what about this? Okay, don't tell me. And then we like go through and we're getting excited and like.
I mean, I did the same thing yesterday. I took a few people through while I was streaming. I'm like, all right, like one of them was like first time. I'm like, I still have a couple endings I haven't gotten yet. So just do whatever you want. Let's just go through it. If you like want this ending or whatever, I can guide you through stuff.
That's so wholesome.
It was fun.
I love that. I love just like, hey, I know exactly what I'm doing. But I'll just do whatever you want. That's fine.
Like,
let's have a fun trip with you.
It's also one of those things, right? Like, there's 12 endings. Like, obviously, like RNG being RNG, but like, eventually, if you just play the content, you'll get them. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's just go through, do whatever the hell you want.
Why rush? Like, once you do them all, you've seen them all. Why
I still
hurry?
need pot shards for pants and shit. Like, whatever. Let's just do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's just two different mindsets. Yeah, like because for me, that's the good part about it. And when people say, well, you only do it once, it's like, do you really think you do the ultimate more than once? I mean, you do it the once when you learn it, but then you just repeat it just like this content, right? So while I presented that idea, I don't agree with it because it's the same. It really is the same. And it's just made for a different mindset. And I think that's great.
Thinking of it that way, it's a different kind of riddle because mechanics are a riddle.
Yep, they really are.
You have to figure out the dance. You have to figure out it's a quote unquote physical riddle rather than a mental riddle.
And this, I think, has a great combination of all those different facets. I mean, even the core version, the simplest, easiest version, right? It has some unique little mechanics. It has some variations that'll get you. It has some like interesting new concepts. And then I have heard that yes, the Criterion and Savage versions are difficult, like on par with Savage content, and satisfying in that way. So the fact that they were able to touch on so many types of appeal, solo run, small group play, lore, story-driven people, puzzlers, endgame content players, still being accessible to casual players, like, it's really impressive, honestly, what they did with this piece of content. And yes, I hope they keep expanding it. I hope they do take a look, like, at the rewards overall. Maybe there will be like more added into this, and the pot shards you can run all of them.
Just put twines and brines and things
that would
in
be
the
great.
second level.
That would be helpful.
I would love to
the
see
second level.
more Savage rewards, just because I love the idea. Like right now, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, right? But I've been in like a once a week static with some friends, right? And every so often, like somebody has real life coming up, and it's when you only meet once a week, and it's a Saturday, which is a weekend, which is like everybody always wants a free weekend, right? It gets hard to progress.
Saturday raid's rough.
Yeah, it gets hard. Well, Sunday. Sorry, I'm thinking podcast because today's Saturday.
Regardless, weekend raid's
raid's rough. And so it's can be hard to get everybody together. So like half the number requirement, have a 4-person Savage content with decent rewards. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
It'd be so much easier to get a solid group or something together for that.
As you said yourself, Fusion, like you can't get into the next level, right?
Yeah.
If you could get the upgrade materials, you get the tomes on your own, you get the upgrade materials from the second level of it, so you can challenge the third level of it. I think it'd be perfect at that point. And who would be mad about it? It comes out so much later than the raid.
That's a very good point.
It's nobody's
do it then.
It checks off so many boxes of things that like it covers such a broad,
and it always depends on gear too, because some people in static right now are like, I don't need the twine, so I'm literally going to pass them so you guys can have them because you need like 4.
It dovetails with another conversation in the community about just the gear levels in general, and how it kind of is, I don't know, not great for some, because you do your static, you get your gear for your main job, and then to go gear a second job, hey, welcome to 8 weeks, because it's not unlocked. Enjoy. Like, if you want to try another one, it's hard to get that second one geared at this point in the patch. Of course, when the 24-man comes out, that's different.
Right.
This would ease that. This would ease that slope. I don't know. It's a win-win for everybody, I think.
Use that secondary, use the Criterion currency for twines and stuff. I mean, jack up the price a bunch if you want. Yeah, but like,
fine.
It's it's like
there's precedence for it too, because we get that in the 24-mans. There's like, here's a coin, use it on Savage.
Well, and even then, early in an expansion, if you do hunts a lot, you can get some upgrade stuff from that. It's I think that would be another pathway. Wonderful to do that. I think that would. It would make so much sense. It would just ease stuff for I think it'd be great.
Yeah. It would be that bridge content, because it is hard. It's harder than extremes, even that second level, I think, Yeah. And then you get that easy ramp into then, hey, well, I know some people who have done this. They want to do the raid, and we're kind of geared, so let's try it now. Be cool.
Yeah, and especially with a 0.05 patch, like nobody's fighting for world first anymore. Anybody that was in it is like a couple weeks in, like nobody gives a shit anymore if other people are clearing. Make it a little easier for people. Give them a little footstool to get in there, get their stuff upgraded. I think that'd be amazing, and I think that would solve the reward issue.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think that they have to go crazy about it.
No, it's
just a little change.
It's like I said, it's.
Are you listening?
It covers such a wide range of niches already, like couples content, solo content, group content, difficult group content, scaling content.
You need to stop saying things that warm my heart. I just imagine you and Kristen on the couch playing this content together, and I'm like, oh.
I mean, it's what we do.
Sweet.
It's what we do.
Cute.
I'm just like, go wherever you want. If you want me to. I mean, she loves like escape rooms and stuff too, right? So I'm like, just
the hints.
Knock yourself out. This is gonna be great.
And you can pick your
So
abilities so
wholesome.
that you can match each other. That's another part of this that we haven't really talked
Yeah.
about, the abilities that you can slot in,
Yeah.
much like in, Boja and other places. Like
It's
that was
really
a great
nice.
idea
Well,
too.
and you can change. It's funny because not everybody
Yeah.
realizes you can change your jobs right when you enter.
Right
Because
then.
I did that. We went in. I did a match made group, and it was like all DPS. So I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll switch to Sage. I promise nothing, but a
Yeah.
healer would be nice. And there, someone's like, you can do that. I was like,
Right.
yes,
Surprise.
and I would recommend it.
You can
Yeah.
swap those abilities when you go in first too. So
Yeah.
even if you get in there and you realize like, oh shoot, I really should have taken like a tank thing or something, you can swap it right at the start, which is awesome.
I mean, and that's
Yeah.
that's another really cool thing about this. I mean, it helps the matchmaking timer because there's no role restrictions, and then you get in if you want to run it all. If everyone's like, I'm a bard and I'm not changing off bard, cool. Equip the cure, equip the raise, and go clear it then. And you could probably do that. I mean, I don't have bard, but like
We've talked about
Mm-hmm.
doing that in regular dungeons before, just to make it more interesting.
Yeah,
This is
but
about
there's so much
the difficulty of
flexibility.
regular dungeons.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's just so much flexibility, and it's wonderful, and it's
Yeah.
a little bit of work on the rewards for the harder version stuff, and I think this will be perfect.
TLDR, we are fans.
Is good,
we love it.
solid 9.9 out of 10. Moving down the list here, Omicron Tribe Quest came in.
You know what? I also love these two.
Me too.
There's something about that skybox in that. So they started this with Shadowbringers and the Pixie Tribe Quest, where you get like your own little instance area, and they do that again here. That skybox with like the stars, and it just like I walked in there, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I'm
Like
a little
this-
bummed about that. I would love to be able to hang out with friends in that little area as you build it up because it's
Sure.
pretty.
It's so cool. And then you start building it up, and the way that the
the
story,
music.
the
Yeah.
music,
It's my
Yes.
favorite
it
version
just
of the music.
it hit me so hard. Like I love the entire aesthetic of this. I ended up like redoing a whole bunch of my stream shit like based on the like I it just grabbed me.
I'm not gonna. This is not a call out Fusion, Mr.
Okay.
FusionX Graver.
Yes, that's
But
fine.
when you arrived in this region, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure you did not like at least the storyline in this region.
There's no. I mean, look, we all know that I wasn't crazy about certain elements of Shadowbringers. But
And Walker.
coming into the tribe quest, like I loved the area. I think it looks beautiful, and I really like the story that it tells. I think it's maybe I'm just in a different mindset than I was back in January.
It is.
But-
It is exceptionally more uplifting than what we
It's
had
just-
initially.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting story that they're telling, and I think it helps. Kind of, it takes
Yeah,
from
it's
that
what- it's-
zone.
Yeah, all
right?
the things
And
that
it-
were broken before, and it's fixing
It's
it.
just,
And
it's really
very-
nice. It's really good. I love. It's just it's very heartwarming. Some of the stuff.
Yeah. I was so surprised in the best of ways by these quests, and I'm not completely caught up because again, we've had a lot happening IRL, but I really did find it so moving. It's just amazing, right? And again, these little attentions to detail calling back to a certain dungeon, calling back to the zone. And for a long time we've talked about what's happening in this zone. Is it real? Is it not? Are they ghosts? Are they not? Is it? And this has been a big back and forth. And I had this moment when we were playing through the opening quests on stream where I just went, I actually don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Because
Aw.
I was just like,
That's a
I
nice
was-
feeling.
I know, but I was struck
Yeah.
by this because I was like, really, when it comes down to it, our feelings aren't tangible in any way, shape, or form. I can't say I'm happy and then show you, here's my happy. I can't you know what I mean? It's something
Yeah.
where the things we feel are no less real for whether or not they are tangible, whether or not they even exist. Really, all we have of them after the fact are our memories of them. And in this wild, strange, abstract, bizarre Final Fantasy way, this story about reconciliation of feeling and emotion and memory, and dynamis being this whole inciting factor.
And wanting to run a cafe.
Well, yeah, but like there's just something about it that cafes I love because they oftentimes as like a set piece have this sense of like a meeting place where people come together or pass each other, or I mean, it's so I've been watching Midnight Diner on Netflix.
Yes.
Which I am obsessed with recently.
Love Midnight Diner.
If anybody hasn't watched it, it's a super great, cozy Japanese show about like this guy who runs this tiny diner that is just open late at night, and it's about the people whose lives he encounters within this strange liminal space. You know, they are customers, but not. They are regulars. They are family. Sometimes they appear. Sometimes they leave. Sometimes life takes them different ways. So all of this to say, I was not expecting these quests to be this like bizarre, intangible thing about reconciliation. I mean, and in a literal way, it's like, I mean, bringing peace, I guess, to the spirits of the dead of a million destroyed civilizations.
Oh my God, you're basically building heaven, man.
Kind of, like it's so weird. But it really has affected me, and I think it was something we needed. When you have all of these incredibly heavy, despairing themes that we deal with, to then see, well, no, there can be reconciliation of that, and how literal it is up to you.
It's so wonderful too, because like you see that particular dungeon, unspoiler, and you don't really know what happened. You have a vague idea of what happened to them, and you learn what actually happened through these quests and why to some extent, and then you are able to turn around and help like unteach that terribleness. You're just like you kind of help Aetheryte go beyond that. You basically bring humanity back to these people, and
it's giving hope. That's it.
Yes.
It's you're at the end of the universe.
You got
and all
hope.
This
you found
terrible
it.
stuff.
You figured
all
out
the dragons
how to
are depressed, and you're like, I'm gonna open up a cafe and give people something to look forward to.
That's why it's my favorite.
When are we gonna do the dragons?
Elpiphoros is Hopebringer, or the bringer of hope. So I always have that one because that is what the Warrior of Light is,
so
and it's nice to see that, you know.
Yeah.
And the Elysium reference with the
yes,
which is about
you are. It's actually heaven. Oh my God! I didn't even think about that.
It's one of the realms, the heavenly adjacent realms, although like within Greek mythology, as in like a good place as opposed to the bad places.
Elysian Fields.
That's like
I'm just
one
imagining this wonderful like canon narrative now of like, oh yeah, we had a private island, we built it up and all this stuff, and Tatru's like, where are you going? I'm gonna go build heaven.
You guys. What's Emma Silk's name besides Emma Silk?
Hades.
We're helping our friend Silk. Look at heaven. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just imagining like we have like an Elysian like baseball team now that has to go play against Hades baseball team. Is that
no? It's all the same.
Is that going to be the Blitzball content that we've been waiting for?
Yeah, I love this, and it also just feels so perfectly Final Fantasy. Like this is the kind of weird ass, bizarre final cutscenes are a dream sequence. Did they or did they happen? Did they not happen? Who even knows? It's like one of those kinds of weird abstractions where when you're thinking about it and you're going, okay, wait, hold on. They're at the edge of the universe, and a giant space. Nope, a whole bunch of space birds made one giant sad bird, and that bird made an egg and put a whole bunch of dead stuff in souls, and then the souls came out, and then other
this
people...
is reminding me of when Monty's daughter comes in and tells us her bad theories on what's happening.
I love this. It's so weird, and then it's like, okay, but like using the power of feelings to manifest things, can the ghosts get enough hope to manifest them being real again? Like, and I love this like bizarre Final Fantasy. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get spicy for a second. Bullshit.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so good, and it's so like it's one of the reasons I fell in love with the whole series in the first place. Sometimes you just have to suspend that disbelief and just give yourself to the experience and what's
happening. It's a different world. Different rules apply, and those rules are very wibbly wobbly.
And all of this came from a bunny and a robot talking shit to each other.
I love when they give that guy the bunny ears.
The dynamic between them.
Slight
is
spoiler,
amazing.
very sorry, but very funny.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I love everything.
Are we
about
Vieira? Are we Laporitz? Are we Omicrons?
Who knows?
This. Yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes. I also love too that a lot of the quests actually take place in this new instance.
Yeah.
Which I know we had the one for the Pixies in Ilmeg, but I feel like only like the main quests went in there.
Yeah.
I don't think you actually went in there for the dailies. I might be misremembering. It's been a while since I've done.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
You don't go in for the
which was cool. Like it was like a playground, so you could go in there. You know, it's like weird photo op or something. But like with this, it's like you get to go in here, you get to hear the cool music, you get to see this area develop, and it's so cool. I can't wait to get to like the next phase. So
I am actually my botanist and my miner are already at 90. My fisher I left so that I would have something to do here.
All my stuff was already 90, so I'm just like, whatever. Like I'm just doing it for the story, and it's like it doesn't matter like that I'm like not getting anything out of it other than the story. XP, it's fantastic.
Yeah, the XP on these is actually very, very good. You do 3 quests and you get a level. Pretty much, maybe 4. But what was I going to say? Oh, I'm actually regretting a little bit that I'm not doing it on the other classes because all of the stuff to do with fishing is very adorable. And then there's that whole first area with the nice little plants and stuff. And I'm like, do I get to gather from here? How does this work? So when my fisher is completely leveled, I'm definitely just going to probably use the other 2 jobs just to see what it's like. Because there's so many really adorable quests.
That's an interesting point. I should switch over to something else when I do them next and see how that changes. But yeah, I love it. I think everything about this patch, great story, great content, great experimentation with content and trying new things. I think they knocked it out of the park.
It's so funny because this is a gathering quest daily, basically, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much to it, so much behind it, and like lifting it up, and it feels really good. And I feel like they were kind of trying to do that with the Kikiran quests. But it was maybe a little bit more divisive because you did have the like choosing.
It was a weird choice thing.
Yeah, which some people didn't mind me, and some people did mind fusion.
Me,
but that's fine. That's fine. But like,
it wasn't as integrated with the main story either.
Yeah. I think for Final Fantasy XIV, I think its strengths lie when you can tie things into whatever the overarching narrative is. I mean, that's
make your feelings feel. I just want to feel my feelings. Thank you.
When there's that feeling of connectivity, like ARR, it's like here's the raid, it's the binding coil. We saw that in the cinematic. Heaven's Word, it's like here's this thing that just kind of popped up. Hey, it's Alexander. Why are we over here? What does it have to do with anything? Well, it's gonna suck the ether out of the planet. And it's gonna be terrible. Nobody else seems to be worried about it. It's just when they weave that stuff together, I think that's where narratively the strengths for this game show. And so it's cool. I think the way that they've handled this and all of the stuff in this patch. Really, we have the variant dungeon story. We've got the story with the Omicron tribal quests. It's awesome. I love it.
Here.
Any final thoughts?
All the furnishings they added were super cute, and we finally got all the Charlian cute stuff and the little like washing station. And
you know what's so nice is so much of that Charlian stuff you can just buy right off the vendor.
Love it. Very good. New emote, the Grahatia Sparkle cute. Very cute. Like it very much. Trying to think of anything else.
That's from pot shards from variant.
Yeah.
Go.
It's 9 pot shards. So after like 2 or 3 runs, you'll have it enough to get it.
I also like the inspector outfit.
Yes.
However, if they don't give us the full gleaner outfit with the backpack by the time this is all done, I'm gonna have to go talk to Mr. Final Fantasy myself in person.
Mark's over here like, I want the gleaner outfit. Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, can we get that armor from the 1.0 cinematic that also then reappeared in the Shadowbringer cinematic that I actually asked Yoshida about, and he's like, yeah, maybe we could do that, and then we never heard anything about.
You got stubble. Calm down.
Yeah, it's just like we are operating as gleaners.
Yes.
And they're talking about how
that's true.
Like the gleaner, gleaners
maybe that's the reward for doing all of them.
I would love that. Honestly, I would love that so much because it's people have wondered why that's not in the game because it's so cute. I mean, also the Charlene Form outfit is cool, but I understand maybe more lore wise.
That feels like the Charlene Form one feels like a Mog Station thing.
Well, we got the robes, so like,
you
know what I mean? Yeah, the robes.
Just put on your Christmas coral outfit. That's close enough. You know what? This is silly and neither here nor there, but I would like to see them do the outfit, no backpack, no hat. And then the hat is the backpack. So everyone can wear it and you can have it on or off.
Or just make it a fashion accessory, right?
Yeah.
It sucks a little because you can't, do much with them, but
then you could have that backpack on whatever you wear.
But don't the hats already aren't they already modeled for Viera?
Is there a hat? I didn't think there was a hat.
Is there a hat? I thought you just said there was a hat.
No, there is a hat in the outfit.
Hat is backpack. Is there a hat? Okay, well, I thought there was.
I thought you were talking about the investigator.
No. Okay. The gleaner stuff.
Yeah, gleaner. Then no, I don't.
Well, if hat was a backpack, then it'd be a one-piece suit for the entire left side, and I feel like they're not doing that anymore for hat and backpack.
I don't see a gleaner hat.
Yeah, I don't believe
the
they
backpack.
But yeah,
just give me the back. We need more body pieces with backpacks.
I would hope that I hope they continue to expand accessories as well.
I want to be able to play summoner with a backpack and pull out my trapper keeper.
Yes. And summon Lisa Frank to fight Gilgamesh. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we do have crayons, so it's close. It's close.
Criterion, crayon. It's just one more syllable.
All right. Did we do it? I think we did it.
I think so.
I think that was all the things.
Cool. Nice. Well done, everybody.
We did it.
Great job. Proud of us.
I'm gonna put my elbow here on this push to talk.
All right. If you want to find me on the internet, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Raffledr, GarWaffledRG. I streamed yesterday, which is weird because it's been a while. I changed my stream message from plain Hildibrand to plain Hildibrand.
Oh, it has been a while, huh?
Yeah. But that's where you can find me, Zen. Where can people find you on the internet?
Hi, it's me. This is, oh my gosh. So this is kind of segues. Every time I do anything on my Ranger on our D&D podcast plus one shot, because all my Ranger can do at level 4 is shoot things, really. I go, hey, it's me. I'm going to shoot the guy, because this is how my Ranger talks. Anyway, hey, it's me. And I have a Twitter. It's Nidra_A. And I have a Twitch. It's Strawberry Bop. And I also have a different Twitch for the D&D podcast that I just talked about. It is plus one shot plus the word _1 the number _ shot the word. And then we also have a YouTube for it. Plus one shot, word number word, no underscores.
All do you know?
We have a show tonight. Sorry. We have a show tonight, D and Diablo. But I'm going to talk like this the whole time, and I'm a demon lady, and it's very fun. And then tomorrow we have a show where I just talk like myself, because I realized last week that I'm basically just playing myself in high school. Whoops.
Yep.
Yeah, we're Power Rangers. We are Power Rangers.
System is called Teens with Attitude, and it's great.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Aldino, this is it. This is your moment to list that long receipt of so where people can find you on the internet. I know it's going to take you a while. It's like the Santa Claus's naughty and nice list. It's just a mile long. Let's go through it. Where are all the places people can find you?
So there's here, here, one Gamer Escape, and that's it. That's all. The end. No. There's a couple more. There's Twitter at Aldino. There's Plus. I'm not going to do the whole thing. It's plus one shot. You've heard it before. I'm in a few of the games, not all of them, like Zen is. I think you're in
stupid.
Everyone.
I'm stupid, and you're not. That's all there is to it.
But yeah, that's mainly it. I've been thinking about streaming every once in a while. I don't know that that's going to happen, but it could sometime in the future. But what will definitely happen soon is another game of First Edition. Once we figure out exactly when we can do that. So that is coming. Don't you worry.
November is going to be a wibbly wobbly time, full of times that we
Yeah,
can't show up. So
we'll mention that here after we right before we close.
But that is it for me.
Rook, this is you. This is your time.
Okay,
all the things. Let's go.
All right. You can find me on Twitch at Rookery, ROOKURI. You can find me over on YouTube, also at Rookery. And you can find me on Twitter at Rookery_. Rookery, just regular plain Rookery, no underscore on Instagram as well, though I don't keep that up quite as much as everything else. But hey, you know, maybe with Twitter stuff, soon I'll be moving over there exclusively. We'll see. But if I'm not live on my own channel, and we don't have videos going up, you can probably find me doing a variety of different things around the internet. If you missed the appearance, I was so happy. So, oh my gosh, I was so incredibly happy to be on Duty Commence this past week, and you can still find the VOD. Fusion made a little guest appearance as well, running around with us and shooting me with machinist limit breaks.
But then I joined the party and helped. We won both times, I think.
You did, yeah. So, we nailed it. We did great.
You know, you're welcome.
So you can watch us have a great time. You can watch, it was such a great cast celebrating All Saints Wake, but we did some PvP and other things as well, so you can find that. And there will be more content coming to YouTube shortly, but there is a lot of good stuff ahead, so stay tuned, keep an eye out, and I'll do my best to let everybody know what we're doing where.
Fusion, you can't say you're welcome after you murder her. That's not cool.
No, but then I murdered people with her.
Yeah, but still.
But we won. Like both times. Because of my murdering skills. Anyway, if you want... You can reach the show here, Aetheryte Radio at gamerscape.com. Send us an email if you want. You can also tweet at us at Aetheryte Radio if you want. You can also find us as Gamerscape, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Discord. Discord.gg/Gamerscape. We have an Aetheryte Radio channel on there. We have a Final Fantasy XIV channel. We've got a Marvel Cinematic Universe channel. We got lucky this week. We had a lot of Marvel trailers. Good week. Good week for fans of Kevin Bacon.
I like bacon.
Okay.
Who doesn't like bacon? I mean, I guess vegans, vegetarians.
We're tangenting. Oh, no.
That's what we do. That's what we're so good at.
Real quick here before we sign off. We are getting into the holiday season. There are also a bunch of conventions and stuff coming up. So we are not going to be around the majority of the next couple months. That having been said, we are going to try and get a first edition done. I don't know if we'll do it live off of a Saturday, if we'll record it, upload it, and just have it premiere on a Saturday. We're still figuring out some of the finer details, but we are going to try and have at least a couple things pop up over the next couple months here, so that you don't forget about us.
We'll miss you.
Remember that we once streamed.
Yes, we're gonna do that. So we'll have other stuff hopefully coming out as well, even if we're not live on Saturdays.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. Obviously, you know, when we know, we'll let you guys know. Follow us on Twitter, Aetheryte Radio. We'll probably put all of the stuff there. So just keep an eye out.
Probably. We'll put all the stuff there.
We will. Otherwise, Zanidra will kill me. If you guys don't hear from me in the next 3 months, Zen probably killed me because I forgot to tweet something.
Yeah.
It was her. I'm going to say it here right now so we can submit this into evidence.
That's fine. I'll own up to my crimes, my murder crimes.
Wow. This is with that. Fearful for my life. That's going to do it for us this week. We will see. I think we're here next week. One person. I think Zen is gone next week.
Yes.
I think everybody else is here, so maybe we'll be here.
Yes.
Keep an eye out on Twitter. We'll let you know. Like I said, we will absolutely 100% probably tweet.
Oh my god. I really don't want to be a murderer, you guys. It's not on my life goals. It's not on my dream board.
It's the bucket list. Murder somebody, just straight up.
No.
All right, that's going to do it, everybody. We will see you later. Have a good weekend.
Bye.